He came to New York seeking a new life.
He was always an adventurer.
He wanted to follow his dreams.
But he will never get the chance.
Sandy was one of these once-in-a-lifetime storms.
One of the worst storms that has ever hit. It is chaos.
Everything was completely devastated.
I'm frantic because I'm not hearing anything.
This is Sean.
And that's when they uncovered his body.
It's a body over here.
Was he a victim of the storm?
He had been partially buried.
There was a lot of flooding, a lot of debris.
Had he been killed in its chaotic aftermath?
Everything was off-grid. Emergency services, police.
Conditions like that, people get very desperate.
You said you had something for us?
Or did the hurricane provide the perfect cover for a killer?
Yeah. There was a lot of tension in the home.
I'm a killer.
Jealousy can lead people to do ugly things.
Breaking every bone in his body.
Something horrible happened inside of that apartment.
The evidence, it's there. You just have to find it.
October 31st, 2012. It's Halloween in Far Rockaway, New York, a seaside community in the New York City borough of Queens.
A lot of people have been attracted to the Rockaways because of the lovely beaches.
It really is a giant melting pot because of the mix of people.
But this Halloween, the residents of Far Rockaway aren't enjoying the beaches or greeting trick-or-treaters. They're struggling with the aftermath of the worst disaster to hit New York City since 9/11.
Hurricane Sandy was a very difficult time for us.
Got 60 to even 74 miles per hour.
The hurricane hit New York just 2 days earlier, on October 29th.
No one ever expected that they would get hit so hard.
The storm left dozens of people dead or injured, and many more missing or unable to contact their worried family and friends.
One of those worried family members is Baltimore resident Tracy Rucker Jones.
It is chaos along.
Her husband was in Far Rockaway at the time.
This city is basically underwater.
And as the storm had approached, Tracy had grown increasingly concerned about the safety of her husband, 32-year-old Sean Rucker.
We were talking back and forth on the phone, and he had never been through a hurricane. So he's thinking it's just gonna be a really bad storm.
I know, babe, I know. But I'll be all right, babe. I'll make sure I check in every few hours.
Okay.
But when the storm made landfall, Sean realized how wrong he'd been.
He's like, babe, this is bad.
And then, silence.
This is Sean.
I'm frantic at this point.
Got 60 to even 74 miles per hour.
This is Sean. Leave a message.
Hurricane Sandy wasn't the first storm Baltimore native Sean Rucker had to weather in his life.
When he was young, his mother passed away from cancer, and it really devastated him.
Sean wasn't bitter about her loss, though. Instead, it gave him a greater appreciation for those around him.
I think the loss of his mom at an early age increased his love for people.
He put a lot of energy into giving back to the community. That's how he redirected all of the grief.
We hung out one-on-one before.
Yeah, maybe we should do it more often.
And that became the spark that got us talking on the phone, talking outside of the group.
Soon they were dating long distance.
They made a lot of trips to visit each other.
He was genuine. what he presented to you was who he was. And it made me look at him and say, this is really a true gentleman.
And then Sean surprised Tracy by taking their relationship to the next level.
That Christmas, we drove to New York. He had planned a trip, and he's like, put on something dressy. And I saw all of my friends, everyone's dressed. And he's like, I was wondering, what are you doing for the rest of your life?
But just when it looked like Sean and Tracy had found happily ever after, fate intervened.
He was working at the airport in Maryland, and he had a very bad fall.
He had to go on disability.
But he didn't like being idle.
He wanted to be able to support his family.
He wanted to do more, and that's what led him to connect with some of his friends in New York.
They've been telling me about a program with computers.
His ultimate passion was computers and technology.
But I'd have to move to New York.
He wanted to be a graphic artist.
I think you should do it.
I said, Sean, I stand behind you.
By September of 2012, Sean had found an affordable place to live in Far Rockaway.
What's up, Sean?
Hey.
He was sharing a small apartment with 2 roommates, one of whom had a young son.
This was a space for Sean to stay while he was pursuing his dreams in the city.
One of the worst storms that has ever hit. It is chaos.
But now, after Hurricane Sandy has battered Far Rockaway and the rest of New York, those dreams are in doubt.
Sean's wife, Tracy, had been desperately trying to reach him.
I was messaging him on all outlets that we have.
Finally, she calls the police in New York.
911 emergency.
I want to report my husband missing. I'm really worried something happened.
She was hoping that someone would investigate and give her some answers.
But she hoped in vain.
The police were overwhelmed.
Whole neighborhoods were still flooded. There were thousands of people displaced.
There were so many calls to police reporting people missing.
About all the police could do was add Sean's name to the list.
And I'm waiting to hear anything. And the days seem like years.
It's not until November 15th, 2 weeks after the hurricane hit New York, that there's anything to report. That morning, 2 city employees are working along the water's edge.
They were cleaning up the beach.
It was under tons and tons of debris.
And as they work, one of them notices something else among the wreckage.
Hey, man, come here, come here.
This isn't just some debris.
It's a body over here. What? Bro, call somebody right now.
After an injury left him unable to continue working as a baggage handler, 32-year-old Sean Rucker moved to New York to pursue a career in graphic design.
Sean just loved New York. We would go throughout our years of dating.
And he did spend the last month living in Far Rockaway on Long Island.
But when Hurricane Sandy bludgeoned New York City, the beachfront community had borne the brunt.
The storm surge came right into and on top of Rockaway.
And now, cleanup crews have found what appears to be a man's body buried on the beach.
Hey, man, come here, come here.
When the city workers come across the body, only the hand in the back was exposed.
Bro, call somebody right now. Yes, call somebody right now.
The cleanup crew immediately called the police.
Yeah, we found the body, man. Let's see somebody as soon as possible.
When police arrive at the scene, their first thought is that another victim of the storm had washed up on the beach.
I need a corner in my location.
The waves were about 12 feet high, and so it was very possible that someone could have gotten covered up by the sand.
But when the coroner begins to remove the body, it's soon evident the hurricane hadn't killed him.
His arms were tied with what seemed to be a bed sheet.
His legs are partially encased in a garbage bag.
This wasn't just an accident.
Hey, guys.
The man had been murdered brutally.
We need to get major crimes out here.
There's significant blunt force trauma to his head and stab wounds on the body.
And one of the victim's legs was all but severed.
For the moment, police have no idea who killed the man or when.
I need major crimes in my location.
Being that it was cold weather, decomposition had slowed down quite a bit.
Hoping to uncover the dead man's name, detectives take fingerprints from the body.
The first step in a homicide is identifying the victim.
This has a positive ID.
When they ran the fingerprints, they ended up getting a hit on a Baltimore man.
His name was Sean Rucker.
Sean's wife had reported him missing.
At this point, cops realized this was the same man that they received a phone call for a few days prior.
Detectives contact Tracy Rucker to make the official notification.
Hey, this is Tracy. I have some bad news for you. I think we found Sean.
The news that Sean had been murdered took her completely by surprise.
It's like, oh my gosh, someone tried to rob him. That's what I was thinking. Because, you know, he wasn't a street person. So it would be highly easy for him to fall into the wrong group of people.
Tracy isn't sure who those people might be, but she gives the detectives a place to start.
She gave them the address where he was residing and the people that he was residing with.
One of the names that Tracy gave cops was Alicia Stewart.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
While Sean's wife struggles to process the news that her husband is dead, the detectives follow up with Alicia Stewart, the woman renting Sean a room.
When they contacted Alicia, she was shocked and she agreed to come in to answer some questions.
I just still can't believe it.
We're just trying to figure out what happened, so we appreciate you coming in to talk with us.
The detectives start by asking Alicia how she'd met Sean.
It was online. He was looking to come to New York and needed a place to stay.
Alicia said she shared the apartment with her friend Monique and Monique's 2-year-old son.
Alicia says the arrangement worked well at first.
What's up, Sean?
Hey.
It was great having Sean. He was responsible. He helped out around the house.
But Alicia says things got more complicated when her new boyfriend, 39-year-old Thyron Acock, moved in a week before the hurricane hit.
What do you mean complicated?
Like we were all stacked on top of each other.
It caused a lot of tension around the house.
And then the hurricane made landfall.
On top of 4 adults and a child, there's no heat, no electricity. It just made tensions even worse.
Finally, a week after the hurricane hit, the weather had cleared enough that they could safely leave the apartment.
Alicia and Monique decided, let's just get out of the house.
Took the baby to the park.
They left both Thyron and Sean in the home together.
Alicia said they spent about an hour in the park.
Hey.
Hey.
Where's Sean?
When she got back, Sean was no longer there.
Do you know where he went?
I asked Thyron, but he didn't know either.
All he said was, Sean packed up all his stuff and left.
Where you going? I just gotta get out of here.
He just decided to up and leave.
Hey, detectives, this has a positive ID.
Detectives investigating the murder of 32-year-old Sean Rucker have learned that there was trouble in the tiny apartment he shared with Alicia Stewart. Monique Jeffries, and Monique's young son.
Alicia said that things became pretty tense when her new boyfriend, Thyron, moved in with them.
Thyron did not like Sean at all, and he made it very known.
And in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy, Sean had disappeared from the apartment.
Yeah, me and Monique took the baby to the park. And when we got back, Sean was gone.
Where's Sean?
Alicia asks Thyron what happened, and he says that all he knew was that Sean packed up his things and he was out of there.
Did you believe him?
Who, Thyron? Yeah.
She said the house was crowded. They had no electricity. It's pretty reasonable that maybe Sean just left.
One thing appears certain to detectives, though. Sean hadn't gotten far.
The beach where the police found his body was only a few blocks from the apartment.
Maybe something happened to him when he wandered out in the street. Conditions like that, people get very desperate.
Had Sean, wandering the streets alone, fallen prey to the chaos in the hurricane's aftermath?
It makes him a target.
Alicia says that she left too, not long after Sean had moved out.
The conditions in the house had become so bad, they couldn't stay there anymore.
Alicia tells investigators that her, Monique, and her son went to stay with her sister for a few days. She also says that Thyron went with them, but he only stayed for a short while.
Then, after a few days at her sister's house, Alicia and Monique got a hotel room.
Thank you for coming in. I'll show you out.
Looking to confirm Alicia's account of Sean's disappearance, the detectives follow up with her roommate, Monique Jeffries.
She corroborates Alicia's story that they went out for a little bit, came back, and Sean was gone.
Thank you.
But what happened between Sean and Thyron in the hour they were alone together in the apartment remains a mystery.
Was there possibly more to it than Thyron had let on?
Detectives bring Thyron in for questioning.
He admits that things were tense from the start between him and Sean.
He tells detectives he just never got along with Sean, that he did not like the way that Sean would speak to Alicia, that he was rude.
That made you mad?
Yeah. I told him I didn't like him talking to my girl like that.
Did you do more than tell him?
Detectives asked Thyron if things had ever got physical between him and Sean, and he says no.
But I wish he would have started something.
Why is that?
Because I would have beat the hell out of him.
But you didn't?
No.
When they asked Thyron about the day Sean disappeared, he says he's not entirely sure what really happened. All he knows is that Sean packed up all his stuff and left.
And you didn't think that was odd?
I was just happy to see him go.
Thyron says he and the others had abandoned the apartment soon after Sean.
They all went to Alicia's sister's house to stay with her, but he didn't stay long because he and Alicia's sister do not get along.
When the detectives follow up with Alicia's sister, she confirms everyone's account of the timeline.
Hello.
Alicia, Monique, and Thyron all came to stay with her on November 7th.
She also confirms that she and Thyron didn't get along.
Why is that?
Because he was always rude to Alicia.
Always talking down on her, arguing with her about every little thing.
It was almost exactly what Thyron had said about Sean.
Alicia's sister also tells detectives that Thyron didn't just leave.
She pretty much kicked him out.
You were glad to see him go.
Yeah, that guy was trouble.
She said, I didn't feel safe with him here.
But then she says something that really grabs the detective's attention.
Alicia's sister told them she'd asked him to leave because he threatened her.
I'm gonna kill you!
NYPD detectives investigating Sean Rucker's murder have begun to suspect that Thyron Aycock may have had something to do with his death.
Thyron had recently moved into the apartment that Sean shared with a woman named Alicia Stewart and her friend Monique Jeffries.
From Thyron saying that he would have gotten violent with Sean if he had the opportunity, and also from Alicia's sister, who says that he threatened her. Police are starting to paint a picture about who Thyron is.
At that point, the detectives said, we need to look into this.
They start by pulling his arrest record.
He had 3 felonies and 23 misdemeanors.
This is a man that had a very violent history.
He's also the last person known to have seen Sean alive.
Thyron alleged that Sean just packed up and left.
But given Thyron's violent history and his animosity towards Sean, the detectives are left wondering, was Sean alive when he left?
Thyron Aycock did not like that this other guy was around.
When the detectives receive the results of Sean's autopsy, they point to a killer with a personal motive.
Sean had been bludgeoned numerous times.
The medical examiner believed that the trauma wounds came from a hammer.
Sean had also suffered multiple stab wounds.
Whoever did this definitely wanted this man to suffer.
The autopsy also reveals that the injury to Sean's thigh occurred post-mortem.
Somebody was trying to dismember his body.
There were saw marks on the bone.
But had Thyron done the cutting? Looking for the answer, the detectives get a warrant to search Alicia's apartment.
In the apartment, detectives discover a bunch of clothing and a knife with dry blood on it.
There's also a saw that looks to have some dried blood on it.
There was no sign of a hammer, which the medical examiner believed was the murder weapon.
However, the detectives do uncover one final piece of evidence that appears connected to the crime.
Detectives find a fitted sheet that matched the sheet that was found wrapped around Sean's arms when he was discovered.
While the crime scene tech bags up the knife, saw, and other items for forensic testing, the detectives conduct a canvass of the surrounding apartments.
But because of the aftermath of the hurricane, most of the apartments were empty.
However, detectives suspect they already know 2 people who heard or saw something.
Given the brutality of the attack and the attempt to dismember the body, the detectives didn't believe Thyron had time to clean up and move the body before Alicia and Monique got back from the park.
Suspecting Alicia and Monique know more than they're admitting, detectives bring both women back in for another round of questioning.
Detectives wanted to put a little bit of pressure on them.
But even when pressed by detectives, both women insisted they don't know what happened to Sean.
The detectives suspect both women are lying, a suspicion that only deepens when they receive the forensic results from the crime lab.
Forensics confirmed that the blood that was on the knife and the saw does belong to Sean.
But they're still no closer to finding Sean's killer.
They found all this evidence, but it only proved that Sean was killed in the apartment he was living in.
Despite that, the detectives remain convinced that Thyron killed Sean.
Unfortunately, they didn't have any hardcore evidence linked to Thyron.
They weren't able to arrest him.
By the end of 2013, the case goes cold.
It's frustrating when you know who's responsible and you just can't find the evidence. But that's what being a good police officer is. You have to find it.
Sean's wife, Tracy, is just as determined to bring his killer to justice.
I was keeping things in the loop, having petitions signed, having my friends contact the police department, put pressure on them.
The effort goes nowhere until 2019.
Investigators had discovered that Thyron was in prison for an unrelated case.
He was about to get released.
So they figured they'd give a fresh look at the case.
They start by reaching out one more time to Alicia.
Being that Thyron's in jail, you kind of have leverage in terms of talking to Alicia because he can't retaliate.
She might give detectives a new story.
7 years after Sean's murder, the detectives give Alicia a call.
Hello?
I don't know if you remember me. I'm one of the detectives that worked on the murder of Sean Booker.
She is taken by surprise that this has resurfaced.
That happened so long ago. I thought it was over with.
But then it's the detective's turn to be taken by surprise.
Is there a time we can meet?
She tells them that she may have something they might want.
Seven years after Sean Rucker's murder, Thyron Aycock, the man detectives believe killed Sean and buried his body on a Long Island beach, sits in prison.
He was in jail for an unrelated charge.
And he's about to be released. But have the detectives found a way to keep him behind bars?
I'm not sure if you remember me. I'm one of the detectives working the murder of Sean Rucker.
When the detectives reached out to Thyron's old girlfriend, she asked for a meeting.
I have something I want to show you.
She had something that they would be interested in.
The detectives arranged to meet Alicia the next day.
Alicia went down to the precinct and she had a brown paper bag with something in it.
So you have something for
She pulled out this hammer.
The medical examiner suspected the killer had used a hammer to beat Sean to death.
Alicia tells investigators that this is the only hammer that was inside the house at that time.
There's something else I need to tell you.
However, the hammer isn't all that Alicia has for the investigators. She's also brought a new story.
It don't matter if you're married. What are you talking about? I just know you're looking at.
Alicia told investigators that actually Sean and Thyron had been in an argument before her and Monique had left to go to the park.
I got tired of listening to them argue, you know?
Sure.
She just told them, look, you need to just settle this.
When you got back, Sean wasn't there.
Yeah.
Alicia maintains that she doesn't know what happened to Sean, only that Sean was gone by the time she returned.
However, detectives suspect Alicia is still holding back.
They still doubted Thyron could have cleaned up the crime scene and disposed of the body in the short time Alicia and Monique had been at the park.
And if that's just the hammer that was in the house, why didn't they find it back in 2012?
Hoping to fill the gaps in Alicia's story, the detectives reach back out to Monique Jeffries, Alicia and Sean's other roommate.
Again, she basically corroborated what Alicia had already given them.
However, she also provides a significant new detail that Alicia didn't.
She does add that when they left,
You better back up.
one man had a knife in his hand and another had a hammer.
We're gonna settle this right now.
Monique tells investigators that she really doesn't remember who had the hammer or the knife, but she does remember one thing particularly.
I'm gonna kill you.
Thyron did tell Sean that he was going to kill him.
But is it enough for an arrest?
They had to send the hammer to the lab for forensics testing. And they were able to confirm that the diameter of the hammer was consistent with Sean's wounds.
Despite that, the lab can't prove that the hammer was the murder weapon.
The lab was not able to detect any of Sean's blood or DNA on the hammer.
So the detectives bring Alicia back in and confront her about the hammer.
She swore it was legit.
And once again, Alicia gives them a new lead.
She says that they should speak to a woman named Danielle Ross.
Alicia tells investigators that Thyron admitted to Danielle that he had indeed killed Sean.
Hoping that Danielle could finally give them the break they need, detectives bring her in for an interview.
She corroborates Alicia's story and tells them that Tyron did confess to her that he killed Sean.
He also told her why he did it.
He was jealous.
Jealous? Of who?
He thought Sean was trying to get with Alicia.
The detectives believe Danielle is telling the truth about Tyron. But will it be enough to convince a jury?
What the detectives need is to get the confession from Tyron's mouth.
And since Tyron is still in jail on the unrelated charge, there may be a way to get it.
Prison phone calls are always recorded.
And he maintained contact with Danielle.
Soon after talking to Danielle, the detectives start monitoring Tyron's calls from jail.
And sure enough, he reaches out to Danielle.
Hey, D, how you doing?
How am I doing? How do you think I'm doing?
Danielle tells him that detectives have been reaching out to her about him and it's stressing her out.
You know, makes me wonder what else you're capable of.
I'm capable of protecting the people I love.
Danielle replies to Tyron, really? Caving someone's head in with a hammer and stabbing them is protecting people?
Breaking every bone in his body?
Confronted about what he's done, Tyron doesn't exactly deny it.
He only told Danielle to stop exaggerating.
I didn't break every bone.
Tyron says that somebody must have did that after the fact.
NYPD detectives have Tyron Aycock on tape, essentially admitting that he murdered Sean Rucker 7 years earlier.
You know, makes me wonder what else you're capable of.
Tyron was in jail on an unrelated charge, and his friend Danielle had called him and let him know the police had been asking her about Sean's murder.
On the recordings, they heard him basically admit to killing Sean.
He said it was because he thought that Sean and Alicia were messing around.
I still love her, you know.
You think she still loves you?
Danielle pushes further and asks Tyron, what will happen when Alicia pushed you under the bus? And Tyron replies,
she can't.
Detectives aren't so sure. After listening to the jail calls, they bring Alicia back in for yet another round of questioning.
Daniel's comment about Alicia throwing Tyron under the bus sure sounded like she knew more about the murder than she'd admitted.
They asked Alicia over and over again, is there anything that we're missing?
I already told you everything that I know.
You sure? Monique told us that Sean and Tyron were fighting when you left the apartment.
Finally, Alicia caves to the pressure.
All right. There was a fight.
She wasn't quite sure which one had the knife and which one had the hammer, but she knew that something was going to go down.
She said when they got back from the park, she initially thought she'd been mistaken.
Where's Sean?
Tyron told her that Sean had left.
But as she soon discovered, that was a lie.
That night, Alicia and Tyron snuck into the bathroom to have sex. Because with so many people in the apartment, the bathroom was the only place with any privacy.
Wait, what's that smell? It was coming from the bathtub.
She pulled the shower curtain back and found Sean's body.
What did you do?
They've got a little out of hand.
Out of hand? Out of hand?
Yeah.
You gotta get him out of here now.
She told police, I was frantic, I didn't know what to do.
So she went back to the bedroom and left Tyron to deal with the body.
Eventually, he came up with a plan.
Later that night, while Alicia was laying in bed, she did hear the sound of a saw.
but dismembering the body wouldn't work.
He was going to get rid of it another way.
Alicia says Thyron took the stroller Monique had for her son, loaded the body onto it, and wheeled it out.
Did Thyron tell you where he was taking him?
I didn't want to know. I just wanted him gone. I was scared.
Alicia also says she was afraid to tell anyone what had happened.
If Thyron was willing to kill someone in her apartment, what do you think he would have done to her?
But now, 7 years later, Alicia has finally given detectives everything they need.
With Alicia's statement and Thyron's confession, detectives executed an arrest warrant for Thyron.
He was the only one charged, though.
The district attorney granted Alicia and Danielle immunity in exchange for testimony against Thyron.
Thyron Aycock goes on trial for murder on February 3rd, 2022.
I honestly didn't think that resolution would be found in my lifetime. I never thought that I'd be sitting across from the man that took him away from me.
The prosecutors begin by explaining the tense dynamic inside Alicia's apartment in the days leading up to the murder.
The prosecutors alleged that Thyron believed that something was going on between Sean and Alicia.
And after spending several days cooped up together on account of the hurricane, things have reached a boiling point.
Yo, I want you out of here.
I was here first.
I swear I'm gonna kill you.
Look! As the argument intensified, Alicia and Monique took her son to the park, telling Sean and Thyron things better be sorted out when they got back.
You heard her. We're gonna settle it right now.
You better back up.
The fight broke out as soon as the women left.
Evidence indicates that Thyron quickly got the upper hand.
One or two hits to the head, and Sean was on the ground.
Then Thyron grabbed the knife and finished what he'd started.
The prosecution's theory fit with the injuries Sean suffered.
Prosecutors contend that Thyron stashed Sean's body in the bathroom right after he killed him.
Alicia takes the stand and tells the jury that's where she found Sean's body later that night.
The prosecutors also had Danielle's testimony and the jail call she made with Thyron.
And when the jury returns with its verdict, there's no doubt that they believe Alicia and Danielle are telling the truth.
They find him guilty of second-degree murder.
Thyron is sentenced to 25 years to life in prison.
I would have wanted more, but I was grateful that Sean could receive some sort of justice.
At least now they have closure. They know that the person who murdered Sean Rucker is now in jail.
But even justice can't bring back a loving husband who, like so many others, followed his dream to New York City.
Anytime you have a murder of someone who had a promising future, it's devastating.
This world will never shine as bright without Sean in it. He was all.
The first time I saw her run, I said, whoa, this girl is rolling.
She was probably the best runner in the state, and she was a hopeful for the Olympics.
Shelley had left to go to a party in Center City and never returned home.
Flyers are going up. People were knocking on doors.
He found what appeared to be the remains of a human being.
People are shocked. This is not the outcome that they wanted.
Or I'm hearing rumors of her mom being jealous, not being a good person at all.
She was sobbing periodically, but never did I see an actual tear.
It's just mind-boggling.
It's 1993 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the city of brotherly love.
Philly was alive with energy. It was, it's the early 90s, so hip-hop is at an all-time high. It's a new art form. Everybody's, the fashion, Philly high schools, we're just like one big hip-hop video. In West Philly, you would have saw sweatsuits and colors and hoodies and fly sneakers and jewelry and leather jackets. You would have got all of that flavor.
On the evening of Tuesday, January 19th, police in West Philadelphia get a call from a concerned mother. Vivian King reports that her 17-year-old daughter, Shelley, is missing.
Her daughter had told her that she was leaving on Sunday night, the 17th, to go to a party.
Vivian had hoped that she had stayed overnight with a girlfriend. Shelley stayed out and stayed at girlfriends' houses frequently.
But now, her daughter has been gone for nearly 48 hours.
The last that this mother knew, her daughter was going to a party with friends. So what happened to Shelley? Why did she disappear?
Born on March 15, 1975, Shelley grew up in a quiet neighborhood in West Philadelphia.
Shelley lived on Edgewood Street, a working-class black neighborhood, and it was a very typical neighborhood.
Her stepfather was Clarence Jones, and her mother was Vivian King. Shelley's last name was Turner, but she did not know her father.
Shelley lived with her mother, her stepfather, who was also the biological father of her younger sister.
He had raised Shelley from when Shelley was like 6 months old. He had been in the picture all of those years. Vivian King was a nurse's aide. She helped Clarence Jones with his newspaper route. He delivered papers to a warehouse, and including the Sunday paper.
Shelley Turner was really a precocious kind of kid in that she had unbelievable talent.
She had been a runner from the time she was 7 years old. Shelley ran everywhere. She ran to the grocery stores, she ran in the neighborhood.
By the age of 10, Shelley was competing.
Shelley was one of those kids where every track meet, she's walking away like this with 4 trophies.
Her sophomore year in high school, Shelley transferred from Overbrook to William Penn High School to run for legendary coach Tim Hickey.
William Penn's track team was known nationally because of the quality of the girls there. Coach Hickey devoted his life to helping these girls.
William Penn did not have a track of its own, so the girls used to run on the streets. And that's how they became so good, because they were running on concrete.
They ran on the sidewalk, so he had markers out there for 200 meters, 400 meters. This man was brilliant. She adored Mr. Hickey.
Over the next 2 years, Shelley thrived.
She was a senior who had big things ahead for her, big things. She was running very well.
She was probably the best runner in the state and probably one of the best in the country. And she was hoping to go to college. A couple of schools had already offered her scholarships. And she was hopeful for the Olympics.
She was very humble about it. She was very laid back with it. Like Shelley Turner would tear your head off on a track, but just as well go and just sit back and laugh with you and kick back. She wasn't boastful. She wasn't arrogant or conceited.
Vivian proudly displayed the proof of her daughter's success.
It was like a museum You know, you walk in Shelly Turner's living room and there are medals, there are trophies, plaques. It was the first thing you noticed when you walked in. It was just wasn't room for anything else. And I told her, I said, if you win one more thing, it's gonna have to go on the porch. It's just like, that's just what it is. You have other friends, you have outside interests, but we ran track. We didn't just participate. We lived it, we breathed it. You know, it was a part of everything we did.
Shelly was driven, responsible, and always where she was supposed to be. Until Vivian reports her missing on the evening of January 19th, 1993. An officer from Philadelphia's 19th District arrives at Vivian's home.
The officer was told by Vivian that her daughter, Shelly, had left on Sunday night to go to a party in Center City and never returned home.
Vivian said that she stayed awake and that Shelly didn't get home and that she eventually went to sleep. And the next morning, Shelly still wasn't there, but Vivian had hoped that she had stayed overnight with a girlfriend.
Shelly had a track meet that she was to be at on Monday on Martin Luther King Day, even though there was no school that day. And she was the captain of the team, and she was a very, very pivotal part of the team.
Vivian tried to find out if Shelly showed up for the meet.
Vivian King called Mr. Hickey, and he did not return the phone call. So the next morning, which would have been Tuesday morning, Vivian King called the school and asked to speak with Shelly's first period teacher and found out that Shelly had not reported to school that day. Vivian then asked to speak with Mr. Hickey. The teacher went and got Mr. Hickey and brought him to the phone. And Vivian found out that Shelly was the only one that had not come to the meet.
She was the captain of the team. For her to not show up for the track meet indicated that there probably was a severe problem.
Vivian's next phone call was to police.
Anything could have happened to Shelly, from being abducted, being attacked, or just basically maybe stopping at another friend's house and spending the night.
The officer gathers more details.
The JAD officers would have asked what clothing she had been wearing. They would have gotten the names of some of her friends.
Shelly had a purple tracksuit on, purple sneakers.
That information was then passed on to the Juvenile Aid Division people and to the West Detective Division.
The search for Shelly Turner is on.
The entire division, police division and detective division, were made aware of the fact that she was missing.
On Tuesday, January 19th, 1993, investigators with Philadelphia's Juvenile Aid Division begin their search for Shelly Turner. The 17-year-old hasn't been seen since Sunday.
Shelly had told her mother that she was going to be going to a party that night.
It was like a citywide kind of fun thing where whenever there's no school on a Monday, the promoters would promote to us, and we were all in. You know, we liked to dance. William Penn was a dancing track team.
Investigators speak with Shelly's friend, Andrea, who lives across the street. She reveals that Shelly didn't go to the party.
She had actually gone to visit a new boyfriend in North Philadelphia.
Shelly had kept her budding romance with fellow student Sean Williams from her mother.
Shelly had no intention of going to this party. Andrea was the only person who knew that Shelly was gonna hang out with Sean, her new boyfriend.
Before Shelly left on the bus for Sean's house, Andrea gave her some last-minute fashion advice.
Her friend said, well, your outfit isn't nice enough. With what you're wearing, wear this jacket with it.
Shelly's wearing a purple tracksuit and a black leather jacket. So that was what they were searching for when they were looking for Shelly.
For detectives, locating Sean Williams is their top priority.
He had transferred in. He was a new student at William Penn. They did talk with him immediately. They got his address through the school.
A couple of detectives came to my house to question me.
Sean tells detectives he met Shelly after transferring to Penn at the beginning of the school year.
My best friend, she kind of brought me into the fold with a lot of the groups and at William Penn, and Shelly was part of the track team. I'm seeing her in the gym, I'm seeing her smile. I think she got cute for me that day. She was definitely a pretty girl. After maybe talking on the phone a time or two, now I feel more comfortable kicking it with her.
So, a few days earlier, Sean invited Shelly to his house for Sunday dinner.
My mom fixed dinner every Sunday. She fixed a nice meal. We enjoyed dinner, we laughed, our family laughs, just did our Sunday thing. My mom loved her. So after dinner, we go up to the room, we chilling, we talking, listening to music, we having a good time, we just hanging out for a few hours. My mom's in the place, so we're being good. And I guess time got by us for a while, and now it's late.
At approximately 2 in the morning, Shelly had to go home, and he walked Shelly to the bus stop.
I wanted to make sure that she got home safely. The bus took about 20 minutes to come because it's Sunday night. I wanted to give her a kiss. And she was like, no, I don't kiss in public. In that time, the bus driver had to pause a moment to look at us.
Sean tells them Shelly got on.
From that information, they were able to track down the actual bus driver.
He does remember that Shelly went all the way to the last stop and that Shelly gets off on 60th and Girard.
The fact that the bus driver knew that she had gotten off the bus cleared the boyfriend from any involvement.
Now the question is, what happened to Shelly when she got off the bus?
The bus led her off 6 blocks from her home.
Did she get home? Did she not get home? What happened?
In Philadelphia, investigators have traced 17-year-old Shelly Turner's last known whereabouts to a bus stop 6 blocks from her home.
It was very late. Shelly was a young woman out by herself. It was a kind of rough neighborhood because there were a lot of alleyways and there were a lot of vacant houses.
Anything could have happened to Shelly from the time she got off the bus to the time she would have been able to reach her front door.
Police scour every inch between the bus stop and Shelly's home.
They searched the vacant houses, they searched the alleys looking for her. And they would have checked stores, checked neighbors.
Meanwhile, investigators interview Shelly's coach, Tim Hickey. He's deeply troubled over the disappearance of his protege.
Coach Hickey had known her for so many years and was, had such a deep knowledge of all the girls that he had on his track team.
She would talk to him and tell him things that perhaps she didn't tell anyone else. So there was a bond there. There was a trust.
Coach Hickey reveals that Shelly's relationship with Vivian was troubled.
It was not the greatest situation in our house. That there was an amount of conflict between Shelly and Vivian. Shelly had to bring her sister to practices and some of the meets that she had to go to because Vivian had made Shelly be a primary babysitter.
She was not seeing eye to eye with her mother regarding, her expectations, her curfews, and the things that she wanted in her household.
Coach Hickey reports that Shelly hadn't shown up the morning of the track meet.
Shelly was the only one that was not there. So Mr. Hickey, her coach, went to the house looking for Shelly to take with him, along with the rest of the team, on the van.
Shelly's little sister answered the door. Coach Hickey never saw Vivian, but she called out from upstairs.
Vivian informed him that Shelly had not come home the night before.
Vivian said, "She's not here. Check with Kwanda." Kwanda is Shelly's friend who was also on the team with her.
But Coach Hickey tells the investigators that Kwanda didn't know where Shelly was either. Detectives find it odd that Vivian knew Shelly hadn't shown up at the track meet the morning after she went missing. Not 2 days later, like she told police.
I think it would have been imperative that any caring parent would have notified the police immediately to begin an investigation to try to locate the child.
There is a question as to why Vivian waited so long. What was the reason for that?
As investigators continue to search for the missing teen, they get a phone call from Shelly's friend, Andrea.
Her girlfriend's, the one whose jacket it was, saw Clarence Jones wearing that jacket later and didn't understand how he would have gotten that jacket if Shelly never got home.
The fact would be that if the jacket was subsequently seen several days later, it meant that Shelly had come back to the house with that jacket. That directed our attention more to Clarence at that point in time as being possibly involved in what had happened with Shelly.
Detectives bring in Clarence for questioning.
Clarence explained that he just picked up a jacket that he saw in the living room. He didn't know whose it was. He just saw this jacket and he put it on.
Clarence is very adamant about the fact that he just grabbed the first jacket that he saw and that there were other jackets, black jackets, in the home.
Clarence says that on the night Shelly went missing, he got up at 2:30 a.m. to get ready for work.
And Shelly still wasn't home. And he kept asking, "Where's Shelly? Where's Shelly?" And Vivian didn't know.
He delivered newspapers in the mornings. He would be gone from approximately 3 a.m. until he was finished his paper route.
Clarence's employer verifies his alibi.
Because of the timeline, it would not be possible for Clarence to have been home if Shelly did, in fact, go back to her house the night that she went missing.
The search of the 6 blocks between Shelly's house and the bus stop is also a dead end.
They have no leads. The Philadelphia department has 0.
It became an everyday focus of the media here in Philadelphia of what happened to Shelly, where is Shelly?
Now flyers are going up. They're hanging them on telephone poles. There were marches, people were walking, they were looking, they were knocking on doors.
This particular community came together and raised $6,000. This neighborhood is not a neighborhood of affluence, there's not a lot of money going around. But people were very invested. They wanted to find Shelly. Days turns into weeks, and now people are becoming desperate. And people want answers. People want Shelly to be alive. They want to find her alive.
It's February 1993. Shelly Turner has been missing for 4 years. Speculation runs wild in her West Philadelphia neighborhood.
She might have been grabbed. She might have been held captive. She might have been killed. She might have run away.
The city, especially the West Detective Division and the uniform districts in West Philadelphia, were in a constant search for Shelley.
As the community continues to look for the 17-year-old track star, taking center stage is her mother, Vivian.
She's a local celebrity. People hear her on the radio, they read about her in the newspaper, they've seen her on TV.
There were marches led by Miss King, and she was very much in the news media, presenting herself to them as a grieving mother.
Behind closed doors, Vivian is less optimistic.
I started going to Vivian King's house, of course, with my teammates, but after a while, like as the days go on, as the weeks go on, the crowds get smaller. The visits are fewer. So there were times I went by myself. She would say, "We're never gonna see Shay again." She said, "Mister, this is bad." I said, "Don't say that." You know, as a 17-year-old, I'm like, no. We're gonna work this out. She said, "I feel it in my gut. We ain't never gonna see her again." She was very negative about ever seeing her daughter again. And of course, that made me very sad. That made me very upset.
On February 20th, 33 days after Shelley went missing, the case takes a grim turn.
A man was out walking his dog in the Fairmount Park area of Philadelphia near the Mann Music Center.
You're talking about a huge open area with trees. That area is very well populated in the summer, but not so much in the winter.
The dog was acting strange and pulled the man into an area where there were some trees, a wooded area.
The dog guides him toward a blue tarp, streaked with what appears to be dried blood.
When the man went to investigate, he found what appeared to be the remains of a human being.
Within minutes, the park is swarming with law enforcement. They see what appears to be the body of a young female.
Her body was frozen because it was a very, very cold period of time here in Philadelphia. The type of sweatshirt she had on was an inside out. It was on inside out. The pants she had were somewhat of track kind of clothing. Also, there were no footwear. To us, it appeared to us that, she had dressed very, very quickly to leave wherever she had been prior to being there in the park. It was recognized that it very possibly could be the body of Shelley Turner.
While the cause of death isn't clear, wounds to the victim's face and head indicate foul play.
There was indications of blunt force trauma. The way that her hands were found with her body being frozen, her hand was up in front of her face as if she were trying to ward off the attack.
Investigators do not locate any other evidence.
So at that point, they didn't have any conclusive answers.
The next day, Vivian comes to the morgue.
Her body did not deteriorate because of the cold, because she was frozen.
Vivian has shown 5 pictures. They're Polaroids. So based off those 5 pictures, Vivian does in fact identify Shelley Turner as the young woman that they found in Fairmount Park.
The medical examiner determines a cause of death.
Shelley was hit in the head with an object, and then she was shot 6 times.
She has some shots through her chest, through her head, and through her left hand.
Now it's a homicide. And we would start back at the very beginning and re-interview everyone.
The day after she IDs her daughter's body, homicide detectives meet with Vivian at her home.
She was very adamant that we should look into Sean because she related to us that night that she believed Sean lied to her.
Vivian tells detectives she called Sean after Shelley disappeared.
According to her, Sean had made a sausage sandwich for Shelley while she was there, and Vivian inquired whether it was pork or beef, and according to Sean initially, it was a pork sandwich. And then when she questioned him more about the kind of sandwich, he eventually said, oh, perhaps it might have been a beef sandwich. And she felt that was extremely important because, according to Vivian, Shelley was allergic to pork. And when we left the house, that was going to be our next step. We knew that Sean was going to be someone that we wanted to speak to as soon as we could.
After learning that her daughter's missing persons case has just been declared a homicide, Vivian King encourages police to look again at her daughter's suitor, Sean Williams.
We went to his residence, and then we asked Sean if he would come with us to homicide to give a formal statement, and he agreed to do that.
I'm a 17-year-old kid at this time, so I'm not thinking about if you're trying to ask me questions to trick me up or anything like that. I have no sense of that at all. Like, I'm just answering your questions as honestly as I possibly can. And I just wanted to help.
He also agreed to be polygraphed.
I didn't have anything to hide. I wasn't scared.
The person conducting the test informed us that there was no deception indicated by Sean, and that it was the operator's belief that he was telling the truth, that Shelley had gotten on the bus that evening when she disappeared and was last seen by Sean at that point in time. It was not Sean. Sean had no hand in whatsoever what had happened to Shelley.
Shelley's funeral takes place on February 27th. Over 1,200 people turn out.
It was with teenagers everywhere, just bawling their eyes out, just losing it. It was a mess. It was probably one of the worst days of our young lives. There was very little emotion with Vivian King. You know, maybe a tear trickled, maybe. We were like overwhelmed with grief, and this woman was sitting there with a tight jaw and a tight face. Nobody hugged Vivian King. Nobody talked to her.
Well, I'm hearing rumors of her mom being jealous. They don't get along. I'm hearing, just rumors of her mom just not being a good person at all.
The whispers and stares don't go unnoticed.
About a week and a half after Shelley's body had been discovered, Vivian called. She was hearing rumors, and she wanted to know how she could dispel those rumors. We went over everything again, everything that had transpired from the day that Shelley was last seen. And she related to us how she had cooked dinner, and she right away said she made pork chops, peas, and potatoes, mashed potatoes. Vivian obviously did not remember that she had told us that Shelley had been allergic to pork. Vivian herself was lying. She was trying to direct us towards Sean.
But why? Unaware she was just caught in a lie, Vivian continues her quest to clear her name.
She had mentioned that she had been told that she could take a lie detector test. Vivian, at that point in time, was very adamant she wanted to take that because she believed that she could then tell people she took a polygraph test and passed the test and had nothing to do with what had happened to Shelley.
Results were she had flunked.
We and informed her that there was deception indicated that she was not telling the truth. Vivian started telling us at that point that there were things she just didn't remember. Bits and pieces would come back to her, but she was telling us she just had trouble remembering everything from that night.
Detectives questioned Vivian for hours.
We quietly reviewed with her the problems with her story. The pork chop, Shelley being allergic to that. Also the fact that the black jacket was seen being worn by Clarence days after Shelley had supposedly left and never returned to the house. Vivian, was actually recognizing that the lies that she had told and that none of them were going to hold up. And at that point, she basically was willing to say what had happened.
Vivian tells police that on Sunday, January 17th, she had been out with friends.
She had consumed quite a bit of liquor, and she was also telling us how she had a problem with liquor. When she came home that evening, she found that Shelley had left to go to the party.
Shelley's 1 a.m. curfew came and went.
Vivian waited up for a long period of time and was getting angrier and angrier.
Shelley got into the house about 2:30, having walked from the bus stop. When she got home, her mother and she got into an argument about what time she had come in, and they got into a fight.
And they start kind of tussling back and forth.
Vivian then went upstairs and got her own gun from under her mattress and went downstairs and then confronted Shelley again.
Vivian says that she hit Shelley in the head with the gun and then tells Shelley, "You can't live here anymore. You're not following my rules."
Her mother said, "I'm going to take you to the police station and they're going to put you in a home for bad girls." So she made her get into the car.
The arguing continued.
Vivian claims that she got so angry that she did not go to the police station. She was gonna go fight Shelley.
She then drove into the park. She drove some distance across the grass, according to her, stopped near some trees.
Vivian King made Shelley get out of the car in the park. And they said, "Okay, we're going to fight here." And they actually got into a fist fight.
Shelley had picked up a bottle from the ground, and when she did, Vivian then hit Shelley on the side of the head again with the gun.
Shelley fell to the ground, stunned by the blow.
And while she was laying on the ground, Vivian fired her gun.
Vivian took her gun and shot Shelley 6 times, killing her. She then left her under a tarp that was in the park and some weeds and things, and then went home.
She put her gun back under her mattress and went to sleep.
She says she wakes up the next morning and feels like she just had a bad nightmare.
She had a look of resignation on her face. She was sobbing periodically, but never did I see an actual tear.
Vivian King is arrested and charged with Shelley's murder.
When the news broke that she confessed, of course, that rocked everybody's world. Now all I see is pure evil.
But just days later, at her arraignment, Vivian pleads not guilty.
She says the confession was coerced.
After confessing to shooting her 17-year-old daughter to death in a park, Vivian King now claims her confession was coerced. She sticks by her innocence until October 20th, 1993, when her trial begins.
I'm arguing for first-degree murder, for life as the penalty. I really thought 6 shots was enough for murder 1.
The case hinges on Vivian's confession. A confession she now claims isn't true.
They had no evidence. They had nothing to tie her to it. They didn't have the gun, and they had nothing to convict her except for the confession.
Prosecutors call multiple witnesses who attest to Vivian's well-known temper.
She liked to drink. That was her sport. She liked to go to bars. She liked to fraternize in bars.
When she did drink, she knew that she got angry, and most of her anger was always directed at Shelley.
Shelley was a star. Shelley shined on that track.
She was very jealous of Shelley.
Coach Hickey testifies that Shelley was one of the best runners in the country, in spite of her mother.
She was one of the few parents, I think, who did not go to the meets.
Prosecutors present Vivian's confession as proof of what happened when tension between mother and daughter came to a head.
It was so horrifyingly specific that you're not going to come to the great detail of that kind of confession unless you really did it.
Vivian takes the stand.
Her defense is, I didn't say this willingly. I was coerced into this confession.
Vivian claims the only part of the confession that's true is that she was drunk.
In total, Vivian has had about 88 ounces of liquor over the course of those hours. That's about 11 cups.
Her attorneys argue that Shelley probably fell victim to a random act of violence.
There was conversation about this possibly being a robbery. She did not have her shoes. She did not have a Walkman that Andrea, her friend from across the street, had loaned her. She was missing an earring.
The jury deliberates for 6 hours.
Ultimately, the jury found her guilty of third-degree murder.
It's very hard for a jury to believe that a mother who has raised a daughter 17 years intends to kill her, even with 6 shots to the head and the body. It's just hard. It's easier for them to think, okay, she was drunk, but she didn't really intend for her to die.
It's just mind-boggling to think that a mother could stand over her daughter and shoot her, but we believed the confession.
Vivian is sentenced to 10 to 20 years in prison. She's released after 11 years.
What happened with Shelley, I believe, that time of my life, it stunted my growth.